Eidl grant is back in the third stimulus package. It was in the second stimulus package, and it's now being paid in the first stimulus package. The remainder $10,000 Eidl grant is now being paid to applicants in 2020 who applied for the Eidl grant. Thereafter, the 2021 applicants will be able to apply under the second stimulus package. And finally, third stimulus package will have a $5,000 Eidl grant. In this Overnight LA video, I explain how to get the Eidl grant, how to apply for it, how the same application is used for the grant as the loan, and the common missteps you may make when answering the questions incorrectly. I would ensure that you get the questions done correctly and get to the finish line and get that $10,000 Eidl grant and that Eidl loan. Enjoy this overnight throwback video on the Eidl grant. A stimulus package deal is about to be signed, but will there be more Eidl money? And how about grant money? Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evenings LA. Hope you're good and safe. This is our 1-hour programming block every evening called Evenings LA that starts at 6:45 with a check and goes to Eidl. The real shocker minutes ago is that the Democrats and the Republicans have reached an agreement about PPP in a new revision to the stimulus package. But will that include Eidl going forward? And what about Eidl grants? Let me get right to the news. So the Democrats and the Republicans are close to a stimulus agreement. We've been detailing this all day long. But one of the subjects we haven't detailed so much is money for loans. And that has been a real big issue. Marco Rubio this afternoon came out and said, hey, you have to give more loans. There are businesses that need more loans. Their liquidity levels are very low. And unless you give those loans, they're not going to exist. So the great news was that the Democrats, who had not proposed more lending instruments in the second stimulus package, and the Republicans have now allegedly came to an agreement. What's going on? So when the Democrats proposed and introduced the HEROES Act, which passed the House and landed in the Senate, they had no lending instruments in there. It's not quite clear why. They had nothing for Eidl grants, nothing for Eidl loans, nothing for PPP. They had a $3 trillion bill, but not a single dollar in there for lending instruments. It causes a lot of concern why a group that represents both small businesses and individuals had nothing to help small businesses. Well, the Republicans, on the other hand, whose bill, had a lot of flaws across the board, the HEALS Act, had one thing that was very good in there: more PPP money. Now, this channel has been a very big, strong, disfavored viewer of PPP. I don't like it. I hate PPP. But it has saved a lot of businesses. And so apparently negotiations went very well today, and both sides agreed to give another round of PPP in the second stimulus package. So this is really great news. If you need more PPP or you never got PPP, you can go get some. Now, how about Eidl and Eidl grants? Well, it's never say. It's never no to nothing. But what's very strange is that nowhere in this discussion has anyone proposed more Eidl grants or the remaining of the $10,000 or more Eidl loans. I had one viewer specifically ask me this question in the private last night. His question was basically the following. He was a recent applicant for the Eidl loan. He was not a March 30th Vortex viewer or April 8th Vortex viewer from the very beginning of this channel. He's a more recent applicant. And he said he had gotten a $33,000 loan, fully funded. He was already done. He had the money. And he said, LA, I want more money. And I said, how much? And he said, I think he said, I want like $250 or, almost $300,000. I said, well, here's the calculation. Do the calculation. Do you qualify for a loan that amount? It is your 2019 gross revenue minus cost of goods sold divided by 2. And you have to have a credit score over about 590. He said, yeah, I do that calculation. I'm eligible for a $400,000 loan, and I have a credit score of like 700. I was like, oh boy, this is a high roller we got here. This is a good business. Well, I said, yeah, you do qualify for bigger loan. And he says, well, what about that $150,000 cap? At that point, I really didn't know how to respond. Of course, I did respond, but I didn't know how to respond. And this is a really big issue that's coming up with a lot of viewers of this channel. And this is how the society has changed because of the change of the pandemic. People are wanting a lot of loans now because they don't think that $20,000 loans are going to carry them to January of next year. And so this viewer wanted a high six-figure, a middle six-figure loan. And he asked me, I heard about a cap of 150. My answer was basically this. I've heard the same allegation as well, that there are caps of 150. But, this channel's been around since April 25th. I've had loans that were approved at 200 and 300. I haven't had a loan at 400. Well, no, maybe I did. I've had really big loans approved on this channel. But in recent weeks, I thought to myself, well, and I'm not very abreast to people's loan amounts as much as I was then, because then I was reading through 1,000 comments a day on camera, and everyone was telling me when they applied and their loan. I'm not so in tune to everyone's lending instruments right now, and a lot of people aren't newly applying right now. These are people most people have already applied weeks ago. And so I said, well, of my recent applicants through the private that got approved, I've seen a lot at 150, but I've seen none above 150. So potentially there could be a cap at 150. Now I know you're going to say, you're going to jump in the comments and I say, I know there's a cap. Javita said this. I don't care what Javita says. There was a whole video I did about Javita and her untrue statements. When she appeared before that congressional hearing a month ago and said there was a cap on EIDL loans at $88,000, that night I did a video. I said, hey, Javita, do you know that today I had 10 viewers approved at $120,000? And they're not before your cap or after your cap. It's not that type of stuff either. You don't even know what's going on. Moreover, at the same time that she said there was a cap, her office had produced a document, a PDF, that listed how much money was given for EIDL loans in every respective state. You remember the video. The reason with the video was to say, hey, states like Wisconsin and Nebraska that had very small COVID-19 cases compared to New York and California, got huge amounts of loans. I said, hey, the average amount of loans was like $250,000 per your own document. You're appearing before Congress and said, I never gave more than $86,000. I was like, you really don't know what's going on. So the bottom line is that if you do need more money, try it. And what I said to the viewer, and I'm going to say to you right now, this is really, really helpful advice, is if you need more money, go apply for it and let them say to you, we have a cap of 150. If you do the calculation, you qualify for more than 150, and then they give you 150. You're like, why didn't you give me 160? Why didn't you give me 180? Well, we have a cap for 150. If they say that, then I will deal with it. We will deal with it as a channel. I know it's going to involve getting the congressman involved because there is not supposed to be a cap. This is, again, another crazy new digression from the CARES Act, caps of 150. These things are not supposed to exist. I know what the comments are going to be to this video. The senator, when she appeared before the congressional hearing, said, if you need more money, come back to me for more money. Don't give caps. It was actually a senator out of Arizona, I think, or Nevada, said, why are you giving caps? Or why are you not giving people a lot of money? They want a lot of money. They're able to afford a lot of money. They have good credits. Give them the money. And that's that. There's the Main Street Lending Program from the Federal Reserve, which I did, 30 videos on. I don't know if anyone ever got that loan. The Federal Reserve never even talked about anyone ever being written for the loan. I think it was one of the real flops of this entire pandemic was that loan. So I don't think that's a very viable instrument to consider at this point. So we have PPP, which is going to potentially have another round, and we have EIDL. So will we have EIDL grants? Well, Not, I just don't know. People ask me on a daily basis, how about that? How about that bill? It's a bill. Do you know how many bills are introduced on a regular week? I mean, there's like hundreds of bills. Many of them never get to a vote. Many of them never get to a subcommittee. Many never get anywhere. So the fact that someone wrote a bill is as much a topic of discussion as a very bad Real Housewives storyline. It doesn't mean anything, just that someone introduced a bill and then they called a press conference on it and then they appear before a chart and then they try to get themselves publicity. Yeah. So that is that. If you need assistance in getting EIDL loans increased, understand the following. I haven't done this video in a while. If you have a loan offer, don't accept the loan offer. Try to get the loan up before you accept the loan offer. SBA is now doing loan increases through through reconsideration. Yes. So it's not as simple as you just call someone up and say, hi, I want more money. How are you? Can you give me more money? Can you give me a side of fries with that as well? No, it's just not how it works. Now, I don't know how they're doing this, and I don't know why they're doing it through recon. But there's also this. This one's a really strange scenario. For those of you who were new businesses who did not have enough 2019 earnings, but have a good credit score, are in business, can verify your business existence, had enough earnings in 2020 to show where you were going, SBA is taking you out of recon, because most of you have been sent to recon, are taking you out of recon and saying, okay, provide me pro forma spreadsheets of where you think your business will be as the pandemic settles down based upon your 2020 quarters. Sometimes they're asking, late 2019 quarters, and they are lending money based upon that. So don't think because you had no income in 2019 and you had de minimis income that you can't get a loan. No. So this is also really great news. It's really great news because a lot of you were getting your foot in the sand in late 2019. You were starting up, and this pandemic really knocked you down. It knocked you down, and you had a path. You were doing something really well, and it knocked you down badly. And you shouldn't be punished because you didn't have enough of 2019 numbers to get a loan. Ultimately, what's important to remember, I laugh sometimes. It's because I know what I'm about to say, and I'm like, I can't believe I have to go over this again. It starts with an X and it ends with an Irian. Experian. I just don't know what's wrong with some people with Experian. Oh my God. Overnight, I got one person. I got to tell you these stories because you need to learn from these things. I had one person who had contacted me in the private. I said, hi, what's your Experian Vantage 3.0 score? Now, if you're new to this channel, you need to know what Experian Vantage 3.0 is. If you've been a viewer of this channel, as a lot claim to be, and then hit me up and I say, what's your Experian Vantage 3.0? They're like, what? And I'm a longtime viewer, and I'm like, what's your Experian Vantage 3.0? What? I'm like, you're not... It's sort of like the person who comes up to you at the high school reunion. So I remember from your reunion, I'm like, yeah, what was my name? You were polite. I'm like, no, I was LA late. I was not polite. There's someone in the comments who daily calls me polite. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe the L button is stuck on the keyboard. I just don't know why. P-A-L-A-T-E, polite. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or I don't find it funny. I mean, maybe you find it funny. But it's like, you come in to the private and you say, I've been watching you from the very beginning. I say, oh, what's your Experian Vantage 3.0 score? What? What's Experian? Who? Where do I get that? What is, oh God. I'm like, okay, you've not been watching the videos. So then this person did not look up this situation didn't respond to the question. When I asked what was Experian Vantage 3.0, no answer. So you know what the person did? They had right before that said, hi, how are you? I have a $30,000 loan offer from SBA. I want to increase it. My response was, okay, hi, what's your Experian Vantage 3.0? No response. Guess what happened the next day? The person DM'd me again and said, what happened? My loan offer got reduced from $30,000 to $3,000. I said, did you check your Experian Vantage 3.0 score? No, what's that? Shortly thereafter, the person checked it, and it was not over 590. It was very, very low. So another person very recently reached out to mentor number 2 and said, hey, I want to get my loan increase. I'm out of recon. I'm ready to go. And that person went into the private and got some context and started contacting the person and then sent some stuff off and then got back and got a reject and asked mentor number 2, why did I get a reject? The person said, did you check your Vantage 3.0 score? No, why? Well, the Vantage 3.0 score was 520. You do that first before you contact anyone. Why are you contacting people in a loan institution, SBA, when you haven't even checked your credit score first, which you have to fix? You have to fix your credit score before you go down the path. Ultimately, that didn't go well either. Bottom line of this discussion is get your credit score checked before you contact anyone with SBA. It must be over 590. You call up Experian. You get those bad entries removed. You call up the phone. It's free. I've had a lot of people say, oh, they want to charge me money. Oh, they don't charge to get your Experian Vantage 3.0 score. You can download the app and get it for free. You can call up and get the boost to raise your credit score for 20 points for free. All these things are free. And inevitably someone says, what's an app? What's an app? What's a computer? What's a cell phone? Who are you? It's just like, oh my goodness. Give me the scarf and just choke me already. With that, I really need a scarf. Just choke right now. With that, stay motivated, stay positive, stay focused, stay laughing. Check your FICO score. No, check your Experian Vantage 3.0 score. I just think this is going to be the running gag to 2021. I hope it's not. I hope you understand it's Vantage 3.0. It's not 4.0 either. Hello. It's not 5.0. It's not... It's not. Oh my God. Give me that scarf right now. And stay with LA for more.